Can everybody see?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you remember my name? No? Do you want a reminder? Miss Justice. You're very close. Miss Justice. Can you say that?
Miss Justice.
Very good. I'm so glad to have you this morning. And I have some really exciting things to tell you about. You ready to get started?
Yes.
But remember, during talk time, when someone else is talking, we are not talking. That includes me. If I'm talking, then you should not be talking. And if your friend next to you is giving an answer and talking, then you should not be talking. Okay? If you want to answer a question, please raise your hand. Okay, but I know that you know that, don't you? Yes. Hmm? Yeah? Great. Does anybody know? Has anybody seen any of these before? No? Do you know who made these? Anybody? That's okay. I'm going to tell you today. Okay? Yes.
You.
I did not make these. That's a great guess, but I did not make these. A famous artist made these, and we're going to talk about him today. Okay? But it's who made them is a surprise. I'm going to tell you who made them after I hear from you about the art. I want to know what you think. Okay? What kinds of lines do you see?
Sorry, can I have Damari for a minute, please?
Damari? You can come right back to your seat when you're done, okay? Somebody had their hand up. What kind of lines do you see in these artworks? Yes. Black lines? There are black lines. There's black lines in there. There are. On this one, the lines are kind of broken up into different colors, aren't they? Yeah?
Is there yellow?
Yep, and there's yellow in there. Those are colors, though, too, aren't they? Red, black, blue, those are colors. But what about the lines? Who can show me with their arm what the lines are doing? Are they doing this? Can you show me with your arms what the lines are doing? I see lots of this and this. Do you know what those lines are called? Well, first of all, they're straight, aren't they? They're straight lines. There's no lines going like this or like this, right? There's no curvy lines. There's no squiggly lines. They're all straight, right? Everybody make a straight line with your arm. Straight. Now there's a word that describes this line and this line. This is a horizontal line. Everybody make a horizontal line with your arm. Say horizontal.
Horizontal.
Horizontal line. This type of line, vertical.
Vertical.
Vertical line. What kind of line is this? Horizontal. What kind of line is this? Vertical. Yes. Those are the type of lines that we see in this work, right? Vertical and horizontal lines. What kinds of shapes do you see?
A lot of squares.
Lots of squares, right? Any other kinds of shapes that you see?
Shapes in other squares.
Yep, we have squares. There's some other kinds of shapes. Rectangles. Lots and lots of squares and rectangles, right? That's pretty much all that there is in here. Do you see any triangles? No. Do you see any circles?
No.
Do you see any hearts?
No.
Or stars?
No.
So you only see squares and rectangles, right? That's pretty interesting that the artist only used those shapes. I wonder why he did that. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. What kinds of colors do you see? I heard a couple of people say, yes.
There's blue.
There's blue. Yes.
Red.
Red. it might look kind of orange, because some of these are kind of bright, aren't they? And they printed maybe a little weird. But those are supposed to be red, but I could see how you would think that they were orange. Yes, all those.
Red.
Yep, red.
Yellow.
Yellow. So red, blue, yellow. Now there's two more that you might be forgetting about.
Gray.
Yes, these are kind of gray, aren't they? Yes.
Black.
Black, and there's one more. Sometimes we forget about this one because it's not very obvious.
White.
White. You remembered white. I bet he gets forgotten a lot, don't you think? Because sometimes we're working on a white paper and we forget all about him. But there's a lot of white. You see how there's these empty spaces? Well, those spaces are white. And sometimes white is there on purpose, not just because they forgot to color it in. Sometimes the artist wants there to be white, like this artist did. Okay. Do you think that the parts of the art look like they're moving around or like they're still? Let's think about that. They look like they're moving around or like they're still?
They're still.
They're still? How do you know that? What makes you think that they look like they're still? Because they're not squiggly? That is a really good answer. When something is squiggly, sometimes that looks like it's moving around. But when things are very straight, it looks like they're all stuck in place. Right? Yes.
And it's straight because of if it was real, that means it would be wiggly.
Yeah? You think wiggly would make it look like it was moving? What do you think?
Because they're not alive.
Oh yeah, because they're not alive. So it doesn't look real to you, it just looks different, but not real. Right? Okay? Yeah. Are you having an asthma attack right now? You're hurting? Oh, eczema, not asthma. Do you need to see the nurse? Yes. Could you see Mrs. Argenta and show her? Could you show her what is happening on your arm, please? Okay, eyes up here, please. I promise Mrs. Argenta will take him to the nurse if he needs it, okay? Okay. Sometimes when you look at art, your eyes start in one place and then they move around, right? So you can see everything. I want you to look at this one. The first thing that you see, point at it. Point with your arm, the very first thing that you see. Point with your arm. On this artwork. Point with your arm at the very first thing that you see with your eyes. Now move your arm around where your eye moves. So look at the art and move your eye around. Where does your eye go? Who can tell me where their eye first started? Yeah. This one? No? This one? So your eye started right here? Did it go this way? Did it go up, down? Which way did your eye move?
Straight.
This way? So you went this way. Did you go up or down? Up? So your eye went like this. And you worked your way around? Very interesting. Okay, one more person. Which way did your eye move?
My eyes started at on that glowing red.
This one?
Yeah.
Mine did too. Where did your eye go after that?
It went up.
Up?
Then it went right. Then it went down.
Down? So you followed the square, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sort of followed the lines. That's kind of how my eye went too. But sometimes people see different things and they look at things in a different order. Why do you think that the artist painted these? Why do you think that the artist decided to paint these?
Bored.
You think he was bored? But why do you think he wanted to?
Because he wanted to draw.
Yeah. Did you know these are paintings? He did these with paint. You know what painting is, right? You like to paint, don't you? I think we talked about that last time. You guys like to paint. What about you? Do you know why the artist painted these? No? You know what? I don't know why the artist painted these either. Sometimes we don't know. But sometimes it's fun to talk about why we think the artist painted it. You think that the artist wanted you to know your shapes? I think that is a great idea. Maybe the artist wanted you to think about shapes, like squares and rectangles. Maybe he wanted you to think about color. There's some cool colors on here. We're going to talk a little bit about that, too. Okay. How do these make you feel? When you look at these pieces, how do they make you feel? Happy? Why? Because it's colorful? Okay. Good answer. How do they make you feel? Hmm? Yeah? That's great. How do they make you feel? They make you feel like running? That's exciting.
Painting.
Oh, they make you feel like painting. Well, that's exciting too. Sometimes artists inspire us to do things.
Don't make stuff.
Oh yeah?
Don't make stuff
Nice. That's very interesting. Okay. What do you like about these artworks? Tell me one thing that you like about this art.
I like it.
You like the different colors? Okay. I'm looking for someone who hasn't answered a question yet. I've got a lot of really smart artists in here, and I would love to hear from some artists that I haven't heard from yet. Maybe some of our quieter artists. Artists that are thinking, but they're not raising their hand. What do you like about this art? Is there something that you guys like about this? Is there something you don't like about it? You think, I don't like that. What about you?
Black.
You do or don't like the black? You don't like the black? What would you change about it? If it could be different, what would you do? You don't know? That's okay. You don't have to know. Sometimes we just don't like something, right? Okay, yes.
I like because you draw the yellow lines. It's perfect and actually around.
Okay, so you like that it's very accurate, right? He stays within the lines when he's painting. He doesn't go outside the lines. It's not sloppy, right? He's very neat in his work. You know, that's called craftsmanship. Sometimes that's part of your grade on your art, is how neat you are if you stay in the lines, if you need to. Okay. There's a name for these paintings, about what's in them, what's inside. It's called abstract. Can you say abstract?
Abstract.
Do you know what that means? No? Abstract means that we don't know what's in it. Do you see any trees? Do you see any houses?
No.
What about people?
No.
When we talked about what was in it, we only said lines, shapes, and colors. Right? There's no dogs. There's no seaside. There's no boats. Right? That's abstract. When we look at it and we can't see anything that's in the real world, like if we were to look outside, we would see those things. But when we look at this, we just see shapes and colors and lines. That's called abstract. Do you think, now this is a hard question, so I want you to think about it. Okay? Do you think that art has to look like something to be art? I'm going to ask you why, so think about it. Does it have to look like something to be art? Now, why do you say no? Why? If you say, no, it doesn't have to look like something, why doesn't it have to look like something to be art? You want to think about it?
You don't need it to make look something. You can use your imagination.
You can use your imagination. That is a great answer. It doesn't have to look like something. Does anybody think that it does have to look like something to be art? You think that it does have to look like something? Why do you think that? It can be any answer. No, you don't think that it has to look like something to be art? Why?
Because it's just a picture.
Because it's still a picture? So the artist is still doing things, but it just doesn't look like the stuff we see outside. That's a good answer. I'm liking what I'm hearing from my artists today.
Well, it don't need a beard because you can draw whatever you want to be an artist.
Because you can do whatever you want to be an artist. I like that. That's a very freeing comment. Okay, do you want to know who painted these? I'm so excited to tell you. Okay, hands down. We're going to learn about the artist for a minute, okay? The artist's name is Mondrian. Can you say P.A.? Mondrian. P.A.? Mondrian. P.A.? Mondrian. That's a weird name, isn't it? Well, it's Dutch. That's why it's so weird. P.A. Mondrian. We usually don't have names like that around here, do we? That's a Dutch name. He's a very famous painter. And guess what? You know how we were talking about how some paintings look like the outside? Like trees and landscapes and boats and stuff? He used to paint like that. He did, before he started painting like this. First, he started by painting landscapes, lots of trees. But then, you know what happened?
What?
His style changed. You know what style is? Who can tell me what style means?
It means your picture is famous.
The picture is famous.
Mm-hmm.
Now I usually dress like this, don't I? I usually dress like this. I usually wear dresses and little shoes and sweaters, right? Because that's what teachers wear, right? If I came in wearing jeans and tennis shoes and a hoodie and a baseball cap, would you say, Ms. Justice, that's not your style. That's not how teachers dress, right? Would you think that? You'd be like, that's kind of weird. Why is she dressed like that today? Because that's not my style, right? Somebody's style means that they do things in a particular way. They do that thing kind of over and over and over again. They might change little things, but that's just the way that they do it. Well, you see how all of his paintings are kind of the same? They're not exactly the same, but they're kind of the same. Well, that's his style. He does that thing over and over again. He explores that one type of thing. So when he went from painting landscapes and trees and nature to painting colors and lines, he changed his style, right? It would be like if I started wearing hoodies every time I came to teach. I would be changing my style, wouldn't I? Okay? Sometimes that's a hard thing to understand. So, how did this happen? How did he go from painting landscapes to painting this? Well, you know what? I'm going to help you think about this. He was looking at trees and vases and houses. He was looking at them so much, all the time, right? And the more he looked at them, the more he started to see the shapes and the colors. Okay, so I want you to practice. Hands down, I want you to practice. Okay, I want you to find something in the room with your eyes. Look with your eyes at something in the room. And now squint. Squint at it. details go away, right? You can't see very well, and all that's left is the shape and the color, right? Like if I look at the art box on the table, when I'm not squinting, I can see the handle, I can see the different compartments and what's inside. And when I squint at it, all I can see is a blue rectangle, some little orange triangles, and a white rectangle. And that's because I'm seeing the glue and I'm seeing the art box. But I'm not seeing as much stuff when I'm squinting, am I? That's kind of what Mondrian did in his paintings. He was looking at lots of cool stuff like trees, houses, and vases, but he reduced them down to just shapes and colors. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Okay. Remember the colors that we talked about last week? That we did on our project? There's 3 colors that can't be mixed. Mondrian uses those colors. Who can tell me one of the colors that can't be mixed? Yes?
Blue, red.
Red. There's 2 more. You can mix gray. Gray would be black and white. There's 2 more colors that can't be mixed. Yes? Red, blue. There's 1 more. Yellow. Red, blue, and yellow. Who remembers what those colors are called? There's a name for them. They're the colors that can't be mixed. I'm looking for thinking artists, and I'm seeing a lot of wiggly artists. Yes? Okay, we're going to get you a Band-Aid, okay?
Come on up here.
They're called primary colors. Can you say primary?
Primary.
Primary. Primary colors cannot be mixed. Those are the colors that Mondrian uses. Red, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, blue. He uses them every single time. Primary colors. Some people think that the reason why he does geometric shapes and primary colors is because everything can be made from those. You can mix every single color with the primary colors. You can make anything or any kind of shape out of geometric shapes. Do you know what the geometric shapes are? Can you say geometric?
Geometric.
Great. Geometric shapes are shapes like circles, squares, triangles, rectangles. And those are the kinds of shapes that he uses, right? Because he uses squares and rectangles. And those are geometric shapes. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about P.A. Mondrian? Is this a new artist that you learned today? You had never heard about him before? That's pretty exciting. Oh yeah? I hope that this year you learn about lots of new artists that will inspire you to do cool things. And you know what? We are gonna make a work just like he did. Okay? We're gonna make a work that looks kind of like this. We're gonna have black lines. We're gonna have white, red, blue, and yellow spaces. Okay? So everything that you learned just now, we're gonna use in our project. But first we're gonna do a worksheet so that we think about what we just learned. Okay? Yes?
I know Michael Jackson because the song is called Ghost.
Oh yeah?
And it has a remix to it.
That's pretty neat. Does anybody have any questions about this? No? Okay, are you ready to get started? Okay. You have assigned seats, so you need to go to your assigned seat, the seat that you sat in last class. Okay? When you go to your seat, not yet. When you go to your seat, you will take down your stool. You will not bang the stools on the floor. and we gently set them down on the floor. Do not get out any supplies, okay? I will tell you what to get out after we sit down. Would you see me and we'll find you a seat, okay? Please go sit down in your seat.